Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's the Yu-Gi-Oh! Tutors here. I'm JD,
I'm Bandit Crowley.
and we are both here today to talk to you about a very few things that are quite close and important to us. Um, I guess the best way to start this off is talking about the upcoming leak summon, or leak format is what we're gonna be referring to it as because it's the most appropriate thing. A lot of people have this huge misconception, and you tell me what you think here, BC.
All right.
Um, a lot of people have this huge misconception that Link's gonna be slowing down the game.
That's absolutely wrong.
And you and I both have had this conversation more than a couple of times where we there's no reason to slow down there's not going to slow down the game. There's no reason to believe it's going to slow down the game.
That's right.
Uh,
It's gonna kill a few decks or slow them down a lot.
Right.
But Yu-Gi-Oh! In general is gonna get much faster.
Our conversations have kind of been leaning towards Yu-Gi-Oh being the extra deck game is going to be slowed down. That's what's going to
Well,
hurt.
the extra deck game for people that don't link is gonna be slowed down. For
Right.
people that do link, it's gonna speed up
It's
faster than what they're used to.
yeah, it's going to be a way more controlled pace. I mean, I can't see someone being able to link Synchro and XYZ in the same turn, but link Synchro or XYZ and then Fusion,
There's some crazy combos out there already. Like there's this one combo with Gofu and Armageddon Night Out.
right.
Where like it's not gonna happen because the cards that you need are from like 8 different decks. No way they work together. But there is a combo where you can go and you play a bunch of stuff. You bring out some pendulums or something like that. You end up with Quasar and some other stuff on the field. It was a 2 card Quasar combo that took like 10 minutes.
Quasar and some other stuff?
It's Quasar and some other stuff.
How many other stuffs?
It's like I think it was like two.
Let me correct that. How much extra deck other stuff? Do you remember?
From the extra deck, I remember they went through at least 2 of those level 5 Blackwings, the ones that summon each other.
Okay.
That assault Blackwing. And they went through a Denlong, which already starts to tell you stuff like Denlong and Blackwings and Quasar. And they summoned Power Tool Dragon.
Well, I mean, but that's all extra deck stuff.
That's all extra deck stuff, but it's all in one space. They're just synchroning on top of each other because Level Leader is amazing. And that Blackwing guy, when he comes out, if you use a Blackwing to synchro with him, he becomes a tuner.
So it's immediately go for
Yeah, you start going for it.
Don't be stupid. Okay. Yeah. Go for Yeah.
Level Lead Gofu, that's a Blackwing, that's a level 5 tuner. Level Lead that one, synchro for that one again, it's a level 5 tuner because it was a Blackwing.
Nope. No
Keep
shit.
going and going and going.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
All right.
And then you can revive them, of course, and if you revive them, they can go anywhere, so that's how you quaze them.
Man, so you're kind of preying on Soul Charge with that combo.
No, I don't think they use Soul Charge. They use the fact that Denlong and Yang Zings do their thing, like Denlong keeps summoning. So they just kept going for it. Because that Blackwing guy, you can banish him from...
Before we get into this, because I haven't seen it, so I'd be speaking it with complete blissful ignorance.
Yeah. Well, that
So-
that Blackwing guy, you can banish him from the grave to summon one from the extra deck.
That's retarded.
Yeah.
He's Vayu.
Technically, yeah.
He's another Vayu.
He summons a copy of himself, but yeah.
But this is what we're talking about with, like,
The absurdity.
How do you think the game's going to slow down with all of these different things? What was it this morning we were talking about? Rescue. The rescue, just the archetype of rescue. The rescue rabbit, hamster, ferret.
Yeah, we're going to take advantage of it in the upcoming format.
Well, we might. We can't guarantee that we will, but we're going to fucking try.
Yeah.
Pardon the...
Pardon the indiscretion, masters.
So, with Link summoning coming, you have to be ready for... you have to be ready to be slowed down, because that's going to happen. That's true at first. At first, it's going to slow down.
At first, you're going to feel like you slow down. If you're a deck that swarms the field like DDD, DDD is one of those decks that should feel like it died. Because they did.
Oh, yeah, they got hurt.
It's going to take a long time of planning out combos for DDD to make a comeback.
I mean, I think I got a couple of combos myself, but you better figure out Links. You better figure out Link fast. You
better hope a Link monster comes out that works off of Darks. Because right now, I think there's only generics and one that works off of Earths.
I can't say working off of, but just something that you can find a way to plus with.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to be a pain in the ass.
So of course we
Man,
have talked
poor
before.
DVDs.
Yeah,
And
we have talked
I think
before
Fluffles
about
too.
monsters that you can use for the link format that'll benefit you and speed you up. If you dedicate yourself at least 5 extra deck spaces for link summoning, you could use monsters like Malicious and Reborn Tengu to speed yourself up a lot. See, for instance, if you guys don't know Malicious and Reborn Tengu, when you have a copy of Malicious in the grave, you banish it, summon one from the deck. So if you have one on the field, you banish it, send it for you send it to the grave. I mean, for your link summon, then banish it to bring out another Malicious. Now you link with the one that's already on the field, and the Malicious that you just summoned. I'm talking about the link monster on the field, and you go link +1.
So there are link monsters. Have they already been confirmed? Link monsters where you can only use tribute and go.
Well, I believe there's only one link monster that's just any one monster, and you just bring out a level 1 link.
Confirmed.
Yeah, well, not a level 1, it's like a link 1 monster. Any one, and it sucks. It's just like an arrow down, and that's it. Yeah, it's like an arrow down, and that's it.
Man, because I've been starting to try and take advantage of when field slots matter. I'm sure you noticed it like with my back row recently in practice, where I'm setting 2 here, 1 here.
Yeah.
Or 3 over here and 1 over here.
Yeah.
Like the reason I'm doing that is because I have to start getting in mind these field slots matter.
Yeah.
Now.
Although it mostly matters for your monsters, you're doing it with your back row a lot.
But that's because they're all lined up.
Yeah.
Like it's the grid. It's got to be all lined up. You can't be an asshole and set like a face down defense position and mystical space typhoon in your spell trap zones. So define your zones.
There's also the thing about all these people that go to tournaments that we see in the recordings that we play with in real life. Sometimes even ourselves, we move back row and monsters just to line them up dead center. That can't happen anymore.
Yeah, that's no longer viable play. I want to know how many people are going to get in trouble with this right after league stage.
It's gonna be change of game state, which will disqualify people in tournaments.
Yeah, I want to see this happen. I hope this my fear now is seeing this happen to Billy Break in a really big one.
I don't think it would happen to Billy. I feel like he's got enough control of himself. He's been playing for a while, and I'm pretty sure he's been playing long enough to have to deal with this. Do you remember that wind monster I used to run, level 7 wing beast? He could compulse whatever.
Joe?
No, not Swiftbird Man Joe. It was somebody like him.
Oh shit!
But he could move to an adjacent monster zone, and whatever zone he was in, I think it was he could destroy a spell or trap in that zone. He returned it to hand.
I remember.
Well, whatever it was, that's such an old card in Yu-Gi-Oh that even I don't remember the name, and I ran it.
But because of how much monster zones matter, you can try to call it. You can put this dude in a slot ahead of time, preemptively.
And he's a regular, a main deck monster. Yeah. So you don't have to worry about him. He just comes out.
It's the same thing with, Alien Infiltrator.
Yeah.
Where if you put him in, once per turn you move him to whatever slot you want. And while he's in that slot, if there's no monster in that zone, he attacks your opponent directly.
Yeah. So what deck are you going to be using moving into Link format?
I've got two in my heart that I really like. I'm kind of between.
Are you going to embrace Link format, or are you going to defy it? Are you running Link monsters, or are you running a deck that doesn't depend on the extra deck as much anymore?
If you're going to go into an extra deck, you might as well run 1 or 2 Links. There's no... Konami, when Pendulums came out, we had the choice of picking them up. We had the choice of trying to learn how to use them. We're saying, you know what, to hell with that. I'm just going to pick up my back row hate and kill them off. I don't want to see them.
Yeah, but that was because it didn't affect the way you could summon.
It wasn't the game state.
Yeah.
This one's a mechanic. This one's a completely, not an addition of a mechanic. It's an addition
of... It's the change of all the mechanics before it.
Yeah, it's just the whole game flipped on its head.
Yep.
Immediately. Where... we could 1-turn a Quasar in 3 cards, and now I guess we could do it in 2 cards.
We can do it in 2.
But that's only hypothetically so far. You can't do it until you have the cards physically in your hand to give it a shot.
Yeah. You can start with 2 cards and hope for the best, which makes it still fair. It's not a guarantee.
High Thesis is great, but only so great.
Yeah.
When dealing with cards that the extra deck decks, I guess you could try to... 3-card DDD because I know the combo's there too. Not happening.
But what deck are you running for Link format?
Hold on. I'm going somewhere with this. I guess to answer your question in a nutshell, I'm probably gonna end up going with either Dinosaur Fire Kings or Floodgate City.
Dinosaur Fire King?
True King. I guess I could go True King in that too.
Yeah, you could go True Kings for the Fire Kings.
True King Fire King.
Yeah.
That would be pretty funny too.
And it destroys.
Oh man.
That's one of those things I've been getting at you for the past few weeks as well. Because your deck is all about destruction, mass destruction. So it fights Zodiacs. And when we were spinning that game about, hey, there's this fucking True King, he's a fire, you could do it.
Well, what I want to do is the reason I want to go with the Dinosaur True King is because it throws a Kaiju on my board, and that just gives me a freebie. Hi, Berlin.
Hello. Keep talking.
Our Yu-Gi-Oh intern. So, our Yu-Gi-Oh trainee. So, I like the idea of being able to destroy this Pterodon and then be able to get a Kaiju on the board, because Kaijus have been like a one card out to a lot of big things recently.
They've been out for a while. Too many people use them, and they're not that great. It's the same thing as Lava Golem, just for one instead of two.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is with Kaijus, it's like, so Blue Eyes the Chaos Max, right?
The main thing with Kaijus is your fear of Kaijus. Where now you're running Kaijus just so you don't get Kaiju yourself.
Yeah, that one. Essentially, it's a fear of Kaijus.
Yeah.
It's a respect of how much a Kaiju can hurt when you're trying to board build. Why not just use the Kaiju to build your board? Fuck it.
Yeah.
But I'm not trying to Kaiju you. Like, if you get a Blue Eyes the Chaos Max, I'm trying to beat that shit out with my fists. Like,
with those 4,000 attack points you can't get to?
That's not necessarily true. It all comes down to whether or not I banish it face down by accident.
Because Pot of Desires.
Because Pot of Desires. And the other side of that coin is Floodgate City, where one of them's like flood the field, the other one's the floodgate. Normal summons in Floodgate City is the entire name of the game. Like, it's triple Fossil Diner, triple King Tiger Wangu, double Majesty Speed, which should be Vanity Speed.
They'll see the deck profile. We're gonna be dropping this around the same time.
Oh, okay. So there's no way we do these all in bunches. So that's kind of what I'm probably gonna end up going with the dinosaur.
So what about the True Kings though? Like, you talked about the dinosaurs, you didn't mention True Kings that much.
The True Kings are the blood. Like, this is. It's probably gonna. I'm probably gonna end up calling it the fossil fuel kings, but it's using the dinosaurs as an engine, and then the True Kings is turbo, where the True Kings destroy monsters of the same attribute, at least one of the same attribute, to special summon itself to the field. And so, let's say there's Earth, Fire, Water, Wind. They're the 4 core attributes of the True Kings. There's not a light or a dark one on the table yet, and if there ever is, that'd be kind of cool.
Well, there is the dark one, and that's the
Extra deck?
The Xyz guy.
Yeah, the VFD, I think it is.
Yeah.
The VFD's it's not released until Maximum Crisis, so I don't even want to.
I think the name is gonna end up translating to Vulgar Fucking Dragon, something like that.
Victorious fucking dragon. I am victorious. You're not even a dragon, dude. So that's
right. He's a worm.
Worm.
So
like,
also the thing that'll help you with your true dinos is gonna be the upcoming pack, right? Maximum Crisis.
Yeah, Maximum Crisis. Maximum Crisis is literally the release of the rest of the True Kings. I think we get the Wind One in there.
I think we might.
Which is the Wind
I'm pretty sure we get the Field Spell, and we might get the Exceed one as well.
Right, the Field Spell. Zergonic Diagram. That thing's pretty gnarly. You can destroy a monster either on your field or in your hand, and then you get to search for a True King and add it to your hand. It's once per turn roto with destruction.
Yeah.
Which is the reason I was thinking about adding it with Fire Kings, which would be kind of cool to be able to go Barong. And then pop your fucking Barong, add a True King to hand, but at the same time, like, the only thing that recycles is Gorenex in this deck. And you have the Circle of Fire Kings, yes, so you can destroy, like, fire monsters on your field. That gives you the chance to try and get back that True King from the grave. but it's only the fire ones. So, like that, you got to play triple of the vanquishers.
And that'll help you with the fire one, but there's also the fact that you could run a True King deck.
Right.
Now that that field spell is going to be a thing, and that the fire and earth recycle each other so well, the water one speeds it up by thinning out your deck.
I want to, forgive me for it, I want to try and put together True Kings and True Dracos. Like, I know that's a lot of things to try and put together.
There's some spells and traps that make them work together.
But I'm willing to pick up the Pot of Desires just so I can play the Golden Homunculus for being an asshole. Just because Pot of Desires plus Golden Homunculus equals a 4,500 point monster for freebies.
Yeah.
Cute.
So basically what you're going to be doing is you're going to be running a main deck answers deck. You're not really going to buy into link summoning.
Yeah, I mean, unless I absolutely have to. I'll probably run the links in my extra deck because I plan on maining like mind control and brain control. I'll take your monsters and link with them. To hell with it.
Well, I think you might tribute them for link summoning. I think you can't use mind control for that.
You just consider it a tribute?
Yeah, I think mind control might be banned. There's a reason I don't run it. It's been a few years.
It's worth looking into. Maybe I'm full of crap.
Maybe you're full of crap.
Give me a second.
Yeah. So the thing that I'm going to be running during link summoning is I'm going to be running a few decks. I always do that. But one of my decks that is surviving is my Yang Zings.
Oh, yeah, dude.
So Yang Zings, like, yeah, you can spam the field and whatever. They are worms. I currently run 2 of the Earth True King. I might run 2 Earth, 1 Fire, 1 Water later on. And like the way that these guys work is that you synchro with them and bring out 1 synchro monster with his effect and additional effects from the other Yang Zings that give them an effect when you synchro with them. So you can get, like, what I'm aiming for is a crystal wing that cannot be destroyed by battle and cannot be affected by spells or by traps, for instance. You could actually get all 3 of those effects in on the same crystal wing. So that's the kind of deck that I'm going to be running. I'm running a stun deck that'll summon 1 hugely protected synchro monster.
We might not even be friends anymore if you just summon a crystal wing on me that's ultimate.
Yeah, the ultimate crystal.
Oh, fuck. Oh, man. I might just pick you up from work and just drop you off. You have a good one.
The other deck that I'm considering to run is a deck that I also have right now. I'm going to be showing you profiles for JD's deck and both of the decks that I'm talking about, Yang Zing and this one that's the Harpies.
Mind control limited, buddy.
Limited to 1?
Limited to 1.
Cool. I wonder why I stopped running it. So the thing with Harpies is that they can spam the field. They're a spam 4 deck, which is great for Exceed summoning, is what they're doing right now. They're not the strongest of decks, but they're a pretty fast deck.
No. Don't lie to the people. They're not a pretty fast deck. It's all about the build. Because we ran into a build with only 8 monsters in it.
Yeah, that's true. We have run into some Harpy decks that are like, let's say 12, 14 traps, 8 monsters, and the required spells in a Harpy build.
I could see heroes running with 8 monsters, but that's because they at the time, well, even now they have 4 Rotas. They have the equivalent of, 3 6 Summoner Monks.
Well, that's the same logic that people are thinking. Are like, oh, well, I have 3 Hysteric Signs. I'll search every one of my monsters. It doesn't matter.
You can't rely on Hysteric Sign in this case because it has to be destroyed.
Hysteric Sign?
Yeah.
Hysteric Sign can be discarded as long as it gets to the grave. Anyways, the thing with the Harpies is that they can spam 4. So you can link summon. What, JD?
So
after this many years, JD, what happened?
Well, what is this trap lineup that they're playing then?
It's a stupid trap line. Like, they'll play 2 Hysteric parties, which means they can get some monsters back. They have to be Harpy monsters.
But that means they're already in the grave. Like,
that means that they got them to the grave somehow.
What are you searching with Sign then?
On top of that, they do Divine Wind of Mist Valley, which of course is a thing that Harpies are famous for, but they only run 1 Dancer. So it's 1 Divine Wind of Mist Valley and 1 Dancer to see if maybe you can get that combo to get a Harpist out on the field.
I like that the Divine Wind of Mist Valley was limited like almost immediately when that deck started topping.
It's because it's an insane combination. For those of you who don't know...
It's a fair combination compared to what's going on now.
Well, when it was a 3, I'm pretty sure it was pretty sick.
Yeah, that's a 2-card combo. It's no fucking, like I think we could get back, just for example, the wind up, the Zen Mighty, the one that lets you special summon from the deck.
Huh.
I think we could get that back. Ghost
Probably.
Ogre Snow Rapids blowing its ass off the board.
Probably.
Yeah.
So the thing with Divine Wind of Mist Valley is that when a wind monster is sent from your field back to your hand, you can summon a level 4 or lower, I think it was, from your deck onto the field.
Level 4 lower wind.
Yeah. Dancer's effect is that she can send herself back to the hand, and then you can normal summon a wind monster. So you can normal summon her, use her effect to bounce her back, and then you can normal summon her again afterwards, making the Divine Wind of Mist Valley's effect active, and now you have 2 monsters for the price of 1.
Or you could summon a Channeler from the deck, which is the effect to discard a Harpie card. You just put the Dancer in your hand, Harpie Dancer, you can discard her for the Channeler effect and continue to
you
go
can
nuts.
just keep that going.
Like, one of my favorite combos that I think you've done with me was you discarded the the Harpie's field spell, the Harpie's Hunting Ground. Then you activated Divine Wind, you normal summoned the Dancer, you returned the Dancer, brought out Channeler, discard Dancer. No, brought out the Channeler, then you activated the field spell.
The second Hunting Ground.
The first Hunting Ground. It was Divine Wind of Mist Valley first.
Okay,
Then
so I didn't discard.
I had gone first.
Okay.
And then you played the Hunting Ground, and I went, crap. Like, I couldn't Dark Bribe it here. It doesn't serve its purpose this way.
Yeah.
Like, this is where Imperial Orders beats it, but only just so much. Because if I had an Imperial Order, you might have kept it and discarded the damn thing.
Remember, guys, as far as Imperial Order goes,
Hey,
it negates. You cannot activate spells. But if you chain in response to a spell that has just been activated, like let's say a field spell, it stays on the field. Hunting Ground specifically has a continuous effect to power up by 200 all winged beast monsters. And the effect that keeps activating is whenever you normal or special summon a Harpie, you destroy a spell or trap on the field. That's the effect that doesn't get to go off with Imperial Order.
There are several continuous, like Fire Formation Tenki, which I know people are going to start disregarding now.
Yeah.
Versus the Imperial Order.
Yeah.
But
Like Fire Formation Tenki
gives you 100 attack.
That's the regular effect. Like they won't be able to activate it if Imperial Order is there first. But if they play it and they chain Imperial Order, you won't search your Beast Warrior.
But you still have plus 100.
But you still have plus 100.
And that's the difference between Whiptail at 13 hitting over a Fossil Dyna to get you into the game, or Whiptail at 12 suiciding with a Fossil Dyna to
and
pray
hoping for
about
the
your
best.
next turn. I mean, it's all about what you
There's
want
little
to do.
difference, but they're big differences.
Yeah, because that's main phase 2 going into Dryden and blowing the damn Imperial Order off the fucking board.
Yeah.
I mean, that's don't underestimate the power of the continuous effect. Continuous not activating effects are kind of what rule Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yep. Is there any decks that you think might break away a little more from being decks to being things that are teched into decks, with link format being a thing?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
I think brain control and mind control.
I talked about decks, not cards.
Decks themselves.
Any decks you think will break themselves into being support for other decks. Kind of like there's a Zodiac deck, and now there's Zodiac engines everywhere.
I mean, the Speedroids haven't gotten touched in the TCG.
Uh-huh.
That's kind of what I see.
So you feel like a Speedroid deck or a Speedroid engine would fit into other decks now?
Yeah, the Speedroid engine is so splashable.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's not the only splashable engine. We now have Gozuki and Mizuki.
Yeah, those guys...
Like, Gozuki, Mizuki, and Unizombie are just like... That's kind of like a trifecta.
Yeah.
From hell.
It's either for synchroing, exceeding, or linking.
That's just it's zombies. It's what zombies do. There's no such thing as the death of a zombie. And,
so do you think a zombie engine would start making it into a lot of decks that don't normally run them?
I think Lightsworns are probably going to make a comeback. Like, Twilight Swords are going to be stupid. Definitely. Definitely going to be stupid. Have you read some of the upcoming ones?
I've seen some of the effects. They basically don't work as Lightsworns. They work for Lightsworns.
They don't do either. They're just Lightsworns now. More Lightsworn names for JD. Good for you.
Yeah.
And then we're getting a Dark Judgment Dragon, which was what I wish they would call it, but it's not. I think they're gonna call it like Punisher Dragon or something.
Something like that.
But that's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
It should be Dark Judgment Dragon.
Yeah.
But it
not
is
so judgmental dragon.
I think it would be.
Accepts you as a human being dragon.
No, Nice guy dragon.
Yeah, that good guy dragon.
Good cop and bad cop dragons.
Where the light one is the bad cop.
Hashtag 20 card extra deck. So
that's a thing that I wish had happened when pendulums became a thing. Which, like, it's unfair for a pendulum deck to
Thank
have like a
God.
30 card extra deck.
No, fuck you. Thank God they didn't have a 20 card reserve because Pepe had gone fucking nuts.
Pepe got limited anyways. It didn't matter.
You never really saw Pepe in the nude, man. That stuff was crazy. That's neither here nor there. It's dead.
That's a few formats ago, never coming back.
Konami saved us from the Pepe wagon.
I think that elemental hero decks, more specifically masked hero engines, which are already in quite a few decks, are going to be very relevant in a lot of stuff.
What do you think about 60 card decks?
I think 60 card decks are... Well, to be more specific, the idea of a 60 card deck baffles me. I don't like that.
That's blasphemous, right?
Yeah. I ran a 60 card deck during my first 6 months of Yu-Gi-Oh! When I didn't know any better.
You know who I wish we had with us right now? Adam. To
defend 60 cards. Don't get me wrong. I like the idea of a 60 card extra deck. We were just talking earlier today about a combo where you could do the grass is greener and mill your 20 cards. And within those 20 cards was a Fairy Tale Snow. And you spammed Fairy Tale Snow to summon.
Well, that's only 2.
I'm not done.
Fuck.
And then afterwards, since that wasn't your normal summon, you could normal summon Necroface and recycle all the cards you banished with Fairy Tale Snow. Followed by your next turns, or that same turn, I haven't red grass is greener, I don't know if you can do multiple per turn, the grass is greener again. Whereas now your three grass is greeners that you main deck are not dead just because you Necroface and Fairy Tale Snow.
There's also the potential for it to have gone the other way around, where you drew Fairy Tale Snow and Necroface and never saw the grass is greener because it's a 60 card fucking deck.
Perhaps. If you have more cards in your deck than your opponent, graveyard, number, cards, deck, it is not restricted. So if you get the godly hand for that kind of deck of Necroface and grass is greener, and you mill it Fairy Tale Snow, that's a live combo.
Well, this is like Necroface at 2. Fairy Tale Snow at 3, yes.
Yeah, Fairy Tale Snow at 3, Necroface at 2, Grass is Greener at 3.
That's 6 cards out of a 60 card deck. You need to get 10 times as many cards in there and still rely on this combo.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
I'm not saying it's a great idea. I'm not saying it's a great deck.
I'm not saying it's a good idea. I'm just saying it's an idea.
I recently saw a Paleozoic player. He ran like Zodiac Paleozoics. 60 card deck. So he draws his cards. None of them are Paleozoic.
All Zodiac.
He sets a bunch of back. None of them are freaking Zodiac either. It's just like 3 Mirror Forces, 1 Reckless Greed, and 1 Lost Wind.
And that would be awesome if he wasn't playing against Harpie and got his whole background blown up.
I wasn't the one dueling him. I saw it on YouTube. It was Old 37 Wolf with his Dark Synchron deck.
And he shit on that dude, right?
He negated everything he did. He had the Lost Wind going. But the following turn, he finally draws the Grass is Greener. Activates it.
Negates it.
And he mills about 19, 18 cards. Off of which it's still just a bunch of Mirror Forces and frogs that were not Swap Frog. So he got no pluses.
Well, you don't want to drop Swap Frog. You want to swap the Ronin Totem.
Okay, well, whichever one he needed to drop, he didn't because it took a long time.
Was he playing Pot of Desires too?
I don't know if he was playing Pot of Desires. I know Grass is Greener bit him in the ass.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
And that's the problem with 60 card builds. Like,
you can't really rely on what you're milling. You gotta really hope. Like the joke that we keep making about the Grass is Greener is that you grabbed 2 40 card decks, cut out the staples, and glued them together.
Yeah.
So you got 2 30 card pieces from 2 decks.
Oh, what we mean by staples is cards like most people are cutting Twin Twisters out of builds
because they're afraid of milling them with Grass is Greener or banishing them with Pot of Desires.
Idiots.
They're like, on top of losing 20 cards, right? Like, let's say you plus with 3 of those cards. Then you negged 17. And then you Pot of Desires to draw 2. But you lost 10 more cards. And I will agree with any of you listening that you plus 2'd in your hand, but you might have lost your combo pieces.
Might have. You might have lost some comp. And that's,
You lost half your deck in that play.
see, I mean, I kind of get the idea of the Speedroid Terror Top going into to Cottonburg. Like, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah. Which, by the way, you don't have to exceed with that. You could do the Speedroid to summon a Speedroid and link for 2. Remember, guys, you gotta start thinking about link summoning.
Yeah, that's true, because everyone says this combo is gonna die in link format. And
I don't understand why.
I don't
The
understand
Zodiac
how.
part of the combo might die, where you can't have 3 Exceed
And I
monsters
like
at the
how
same time.
everyone's saying, like, this is, like, brain control sucks now. That's not true. Kaiju's abroad. Volcanic Queen abroad. You fuck that. You tribute their monster, brain control it back.
Well, some of the kaijus say that they cannot be normal or special summoned except to your opponent's side of the field. So there's some ruling issues that we'll be dealing with when
Well,
link format actually drops.
They don't say they can't be normal or special summon. It's tribute one monster your opponent controls to special summon it to your opponent's side of the field.
Can you tribute summon
Yeah.
kaiju? All of the kaijus?
Yes.
Okay.
I think there might be one, maybe one.
It's
but
gotta be the good one.
But it's got like question mark attack. It's base attack is 0 anyway.
Okay.
Why would you play it?
So for those of you guys that don't understand what we're talking about, Brain Control got its errata,
Oh, yeah.
where now you can only take control of a monster that can be normal or special summoned.
Essentially main deck monsters only.
Yeah.
That
Oh, my
excludes-
bad. It can be normal summoned or set.
Yeah.
That's why the extra deck doesn't work on that.
It's the same. Like it doesn't hit a Judgment Dragon, doesn't hit Chaos Sorcerer. Man, any conditionals like that just sucks.
Yeah.
So that's our luck. That's where we live now. This is Yu-Gi-Oh! Deal with it. That's what Konami's given us.
Yeah. So guys, remember to start looking through your old cards. Make sure you can find some combos that work. Like Desk Bots can special summon a lot, so now you can link. Or which ones were you looking at? Super Defense Robot?
I don't want to give any
Any ill information?
Yeah, I don't know enough about that deck to give the combos, but that's how we get where we get to sometimes playing.
Yeah.
That's why we built some of the decks we built. We built some crazy things over the years, like some really like under the curtain where people hadn't even thought to look that far back. Like Super Defense Robot. How many of you people even know what that is? Or what they
Probably nobody. The only reason I remembered it is because I once saw it and I was like, that's a shit deck, and moved on. And that idea stayed in my head until last night when you reminded me.
And you went, that's not a shit deck. Like,
Well, it kind of seems like a shit deck. It spams out monsters that are not the same level. So
pull this shit up. You can get it.
that's gonna take too long to search. We'll talk about it in a different video.
Look, I don't give a damn. What do? I'm sorry. This is like, if you're gonna shit talk it.
All right, so it looks like we have
That's the only one I need to read.
Elephant.
Super Defense Elephant. Super Defense Robot Elephant. Sorry, I had him pull it up because this was for me. I wanted to do this earlier anyway, so here we are. When this card is normal summoned, you can special summon one Super Defense Robot or Super Defense Monster or Orbital 7 from your hand. Once per turn, you can target one Super Defense Robot Monster or Orbital 7 you control, and its level becomes 8 until the end phase. This card cannot be used as an XYZ material for an XYZ summon except for the XYZ material, an XYZ summon of a machine type monster.
So he does get to at least special summon something, right?
Yeah, they all special summon something.
Yeah.
It's quick link twos.
So it'll help you for link summoning.
Yeah.
In general, because you're restricted to only machine exceeds, or because they're different levels, it's kind of a bad deck right now.
Right now.
But when you spam and don't use it for what it's meant for, it's a good deck.
Yeah, when you look forward into link summoning, like that's what we're talking about. Where everyone says these decks are gonna die, and that's because no one has imagination anymore.
Yeah.
Everyone's stuck with like, oh well, this archetype's dead. That doesn't mean the deck is dead. It's just the deck for its purpose is no longer good. But you can take that and throw the concept into a new engine.
Yeah. Where a Cyber Dragon used to be a fusion deck, and now it's an Exceed deck.
The 2JC is a great engine, but once you throw that thing into a fucking Supra, you get some great performance out of it.
Yeah.
And that's essentially what we're saying here. Like back when Synchro and XYZ first started, they were the scraps of old decks that hadn't run in years.
Yeah. Where it would be like King of the Skull Servants, which was an old deck then.
It's still an old deck.
It's still an old deck right
It's
now,
an
but
even
it's got a
older
lot of
deck now.
it's got a lot of new support. But you would do that with Junk Synchron and Infernal Reckless Summon, just so you could get some beaters.
Yeah, and like there were days when we were pulling off combos that shouldn't even be
A thing.
And but they are a thing. They have to be a thing. They like there's never going to be a point in Yu-Gi-Oh where you're done in and the company just shit on your deck. Like, open your mind up. This is like, if you think Link Summon's going to slow you down, you just need to study a little more.
Yeah. You know what I hope came back? Now that the game is so much faster. What was his name? Gearfried the Iron Knight. Butterfly Dagger Elma. Royal Magical Library. I wish that came back.
No, because that opens up one turn Exodia.
That's exactly why I wanted to come back.
Yeah,
in a format that's gonna be so fast. Exodia player beat you.
Turn one.
Turn one.
Turn zero.
FTK.
Because what are you gonna? The best thing you have for that at that moment is Ghost Ogre, Snow Rabbit, and Prey.
I mean, like, you think about it nowadays, there's a way that it could work. Because before, the main thing was, will Royal Magical Library survive? Will Gearfried survive? Who do I summon first? Because we're talking about normal summoned monsters. They don't special themselves.
Double summon.
But now, it can be normal Royal Magical Library. Activate scale of 1. Activate scale of 8. That's 2 counters. Pendulum for Gearfried.
And you can search for all that stuff.
Yeah.
You can. What is it? What is the one that?
I think Gearfried is a warrior, right?
What's the one that gives you a normal monster from deck to hand?
A normal monster from deck to hand?
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure.
You know what I mean, right? Where Cleese used to use it to get the damn Clayford Scout.
Oh, that one that they used in Dark Magician deck in the anime.
Yeah.
Ancient Rules.
No, Ancient
Was that
Rules
it?
Summons.
Ancient Rules Summons?
From deck to hand. Fuck it.
We don't know how to search it. Like, you keep pointing at Depro like it's this magical thing.
Can you search card definitions?
No.
Just names.
Yeah.
Can you search for spell cards, normal spell cards?
I'm not gonna look through the entire library of normal spell cards. We will come at you next time
That's fine.
with the answer for it.
That's fine. I can do this with my phone probably faster, right? I'll pull
Maybe.
the handy dandy mobile Pokedex.
Well, we're close to the end of the episode as well. And one of the things I got reminded of right now, since we're on the deck edit portion of DevPro so we can search for cards, I wanted to bring out one of the biggest Yu-Gi-Oh! Conspiracies that exists in the game today. A secret, guarded, as if the government were concealing evidence. I wanted to talk about the fact that there are English copies of the original artwork of Harpie Ladies that were in circulation so many years ago. And now if you try to look for them, you can't find them. Not for sale, not in a deck profile, anywhere. Listeners, I want you to pay close attention to this.
This is creepypasta.
Yeah, this is my creepypasta portion of this. Back in the day, I'm talking probably 2008, right?
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Magician's Force back in the day.
Yeah, the pack Magician's Force back in the day. And there was another pack. What was the name of the pack that the Harpy Queen came in?
Force of Breakers.
Force of the Breakers. So in Force of the Breaker, you get Harpy Queen, which is the first actual support Harpy's got in a long time. And also Harpy Girl and Harpy's pet baby Dragon. So the thing with this is, you can still find copies of Harpy Girl in her original artwork. See, the original artwork for them, they wore swimsuits. And in the English artwork, they wore leotards. But there was English copies of Harpy Queen, Harpy Lady 1, Harpy Lady 2, Harpy Lady 3 that had the original artwork in their English copies.
Just ask the community.
I have looked for them. I have asked the community, like the immediate, like in-person people that I know. And a lot of the old players remember them. They know they exist. But if I ask a new player, they barely know who Harpy Ladies are. Yeah, Harpy Lady, the original, she came out in the original artwork in the Magician's Force. But I'm talking about the good ones that you can use that actually have an effect. Okay. So I ask you, the listeners, do you have an original artwork English copy of any of the Harpy Ladies or their Trap Card Hysteric Party? If you do, go ahead and tell us. Let us know. Do you have a deck? Can you send us a picture or a video, anything like that?
Leave a comment down below. Hit us up on Facebook or Twitter or the Yu-Gi-Oh! Tutors. If you happen to have one, take a picture, post a picture. We can talk about it. We don't know what the price of our want is, but I know we want.
We're not looking for you to give them to us.
No.
We're not looking to buy them from you. I want to verify that it's not one of these Berenstein or Berenstein situations where some people remember them and some people think they never existed. I just want you, the listeners, to go out into the world of the internet and find out for yourselves. Can you find the original artwork English copy of Harpy Ladies? 1, 2, 3, and Queen.
And if you can't, we called it Hello for the World Tomorrow.
This has been BC.
I'm JD.
Have a good day.
Y'all take care.